Now, from the station that works for you, this is Channel 2 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Russ McCaskey.
And I'm Karen Larson. Thank you for joining us tonight. Police believe an explosion in Midtown Tulsa may have been sparked by two homeless men in an underground vault. One man was injured in that explosion at 18th and Cheyenne. And that's where Channel 2's Jacqueline Allen joins us live now with more on what happened in this developing story.
Well, Karen, right now power crews are on the scene. They're replacing cable as we speak. Just about half an hour ago, they found some hacksaws down in there, and they think these two guys were actually trying to cut into the cables. It's an underground electric transformer area. Cut into the cables to try to get these copper tubing so they could sell them later. They say that's fairly common. But about 1:40 this afternoon, their work was cut short when they cut into a 480-volt line, and everyone in the neighborhood heard the explosion. You saw.
I was in my office upstairs and heard an explosion and looked out the window, and there was wisps of gray smoke coming up from the building.
After the blast, neighbors called 911 and firefighters arrived to find this man sitting on top of the grate, his leg broken and his arms burned. At first, police thought it was a meth lab, but they went in and found no evidence inside the vault. Officers say there were two men inside, but one ran off with a backpack. They're still looking for him. Now PSO is trying to determine exactly what caused the blast.
Could possibly have been a transformer that exploded, or even another possibility is methane gas and a spark.
Again, they are still looking for that second man, and they say that it's fairly common at different sites where transformers and copper wire is for people to come in and try to steal it. Live in Midtown Tulsa, Jacqueline Allen, Channel 2 works for you.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Now, police say that the victim's injuries did not appear to be life-threatening.
A local police department is under investigation tonight after the suspicious death of a Sapulpa man on Saturday night. It's a story you first saw here on Channel 2. Happened at a house on North Hodge Street in Sapulpa. Police went to the home searching for Brian Hurt, a man they say stole beer from a nearby convenience store. They arrested him, but then they became involved in a confrontation with Hurt's cousin, 25-year-old Daryl Wick. Officers entered the house to pull Wick out. During the struggle, Wick went headfirst through a glass door, slashing his throat. He died a short time later. OSBI is investigating the incident. New tonight, Sapulpa police now say that two officers are on administrative leave. Channel 2's Pete Thompson joins us live from Sapulpa with more. Pete?
We're here at the home where it happened, and the night that it happened, the police called out about 5 officers out here because they said they'd had trouble with Daryl Wick before. What they say happened was a struggle took place here on this front porch with 2 officers and Wick, and then continued inside here, at which one point Wick managed to break away and then smashed his head through this glass window that used to be here.
That's murder!
Family members, you know.
Amidst the cries from family members, at a press conference today, the Sapulpa police said they did not force Wick's head through the glass.
You know, it was an accident, a freak accident.
Police say they went to arrest Wick after he yelled out from behind his front door. They say he tried to interfere with the arrest of his cousin, Brian Hurt. 2 officers approached Wick on the porch and got into a struggle. It continued when they chased him inside.
There was an officer that had a hold of him. The initial report I have, and again, it's very initial, that he broke free from the officer. There was an officer standing by the door and he hit the door.
But more questions remain. Wick's mother, Linda, arrived at the scene a short time later and saw an officer running water from a hose.
And I looked at the officer and I said, "You're washing his blood off the rug?" He just looked at me and threw down the water hose, and I looked around, all the other officers were getting in their cars leaving. They never said nothing to me.
Captain Rick Rumsey says that officer should not have washed the blood away, which could have been used as evidence on a crime scene. He says the officer was not aware of Wick's condition, but either way, police never did establish a crime scene that night.
If the officer that took the garden hose would have known that Mr. Wick was deceased at that time, it would have been taped off as a crime scene.
And the 2 officers that were on the front porch here, Brett Hansen and Mark Swafford, have been placed on administrative leave. Coming up at 6, we have an exclusive interview with Wick's girlfriend, the only eyewitness that was there that night, and her account is drastically different than the one that Sapulpa police gave earlier today. Live in Sapulpa, Pete Thompson, Channel 2 works for you.
All right, Pete, thanks. OSBI expects its investigation to take a month. They will then submit a report to the Creek County District Attorney's Office.
Well, Tulsa police stumbled across a body during the search of a known drug house. Officers were actually looking for a suspect in another case when they made the discovery on North Madison last night. Detectives identified the body as that of 60-year-old Sylvester Washington. The cause of death isn't known yet, but police are investigating it as a murder for now. Now, this isn't the first death at that house. Tonight at 6, Channel 2's Chad Nye shows us what some neighborhood residents are doing to fix the problem. Well, another day of cool temperatures outside, but how long can this really last? Let's get a first look at our forecast now from our chief meteorologist, Dan Throckout.
Karen, we do have some warmer temperatures in our forecast tonight on Viper 2. Watching a little rain across parts of Osage County, working its way down to the south and southeast. One lone thunderstorm, actually Reno County in southern Kansas, actually gone severe. Severe thunderstorm warning there. Take a look at the temperatures across the region. Temperatures still well below normal. All through the region, temperatures mostly in the 80s. It will be warmer for tomorrow. If you're stepping out for this evening, by 10 o'clock, our temperature down to about 77 degrees. Russ, coming up in the weather, we will talk about an increasing chance of rain and those warmer temperatures.
All right, some changes on the way. Dan, thanks. Well, several Green Country students are already back in school, but today, for some students, it's back to school for the first time. Channel 2's Omadeli Nelson visited Oak Crest Elementary in Broken Arrow today, where it was the first day of school for kindergartners. Omadeli?
Well, Russ, more than 1,000 Broken Arrow students started kindergarten today, and it's a brand new experience that educators hope will better prepare them for the years to come.
And together, they leapfrogged home.
It's a whole new world for these kindergartners at Oak Crest Elementary.
I need for Alyssa A to line up at the door first.
Not only are most of them in school for the first time, it's the first year that all Broken Arrow students have been offered full-day kindergarten, free of charge. Amanda Dick knows the difference this program can make for her daughter, Caitlin. Last year, she enrolled her son, Tyler.
He seemed to mature a little bit more because he was here all day. And now putting him in first grade this year made a huge difference because he was ready for all day.
There's additional time for the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but teacher Carol Vandola promises it'll feed much more than just their brains.
It also allows us time to continue with the developmental side of kindergarten.
Kids learn the classroom setting, to interact and get along with others, and what it means to come to school. But educators say full day also prepares these kids to meet the requirements of No Child Left Behind, because it helps them get ready for third grade testing.
If it doesn't start in kindergarten, then they may not be ready by third grade, and I think that's where a lot of this comes into play.
Other districts aren't far behind. The Tulsa Public School District will offer full-day kindergarten free of charge to 46 of its 58 elementary schools. And Harriet Patterson, in charge of elementary school improvement, hopes to see the payoff down the road.
And we hope that with a full-day kindergarten, we'll see more students able to meet that mark of that third grade national testing.
Right now, Oklahoma districts do not receive funding for full-day kindergarten. This year, it cost Broken Arrow more than $1 million to offer it. Omadeli Nelson, Channel 2 works for you.
Omadeli, thanks. And we checked and found out that Glenpool and Sapulpa also offer full-day kindergarten, and Jinx offers it by tuition only.
President Bush says tens of thousands of U.S. troops now overseas will soon be returning home. He announced his plan to redeploy about 70,000 troops this morning. He was speaking to a group of veterans in Cincinnati, Ohio at the National Convention of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The president says this move will be good for service personnel, military families, and taxpayers.
The taxpayers will save money as we configure our military to meet the threats of the 21st century. There will be...
Well, the president said that bringing more troops home would reduce stress in the military, but would still allow the U.S. to accomplish missions overseas.
The president was in Florida yesterday. That's our next stop, and the death toll there from Hurricane Charlie has climbed to 17. Hundreds of thousands are still without power as the cleanup continues. Channel 2 has a reporter in Punta Gorda, Florida. Liz Weaver joins us with the latest.
Well, right now, here we are. We're in front of one of the townhouses that is a good example of what residents here are going through. You can see this place is condemned. We've talked to several residents. Actually there, if we can get a shot, Bob, down there, that woman and her son, we just talked to her. They rode out the storm. That woman right there, she was here. She was up on one of the top floors and decided to stick it out. She was okay, reunited with her family. Now, there are still a lot of people who are trying to contact their families, and that is going, it's going slowly, but everybody's sort of being reunited. One thing we do want to point out, though, a lot of times we talk about storm shutters. look at this. We just actually noticed this. We've been here for a few days, but you can see those last 2 units there actually have storm shutters, and those 2 units were okay, which is amazing because of the amount of wind that came through here. But again, this is just one example of many. We've been out again for the last few days. Everywhere you drive, this is what it looks like. But what is wonderful here is the resiliency of people and the fact that everybody here is helping. That's the one thing we keep hearing over and over again is neighbor helping neighbor. And of course, all of the thousands of workers and volunteers that have come to the state now to help is also another very important thing. Russ, back to you.
All right, Liz, thanks. Liz Weaver reporting live from Florida tonight. And I'll tell you what a mess, and those people have their hands full, don't they?
They really do, and the weather's still not cooperating. It's still too hot, not enough power or anything like that.
It's a tough time.
Tough situation there. You know, eating disorders don't go away just because patients grow up into adulthood.
Still ahead, we'll talk to a woman whose anorexia followed her into adulthood.
Plus, a police chase takes an unusual turn. We'll bring you the video.
Coming up in early warning weather, we'll talk about our rain chances across the area and even some warmer temperatures this week. Early warning weather is all coming up.
Tomorrow morning on Channel 2 News Today, help Tulsa come up with a legacy project for the state centennial. I'm Deb McCaskey.
And I'm Lori Pritchard. Also, bargain advice for new car buyers.
And I'm Mike Anderson. Also a look ahead to your Tuesday forecast. Join us tomorrow morning at 5.
You've been waiting all year for this moment to arrive. The one and only clearance at your Lincoln Mercury dealer. A short time when you can get the best savings of the year on every Lincoln and Mercury, including Navigator, the midsize Aviator, and the versatile Mountaineer. Now lease Lincoln Navigator for $599 a month for 39 months with $36.04 due at signing. See your Oklahoma Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
So guys, any words of wisdom?
Yeah, run. Well, Wendy's bacon mushroom melt is back.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, with bacon and warm cheddar cheese sauce.
And those mushrooms.
Huge help, guys, thanks.
I gotta have one.
I'm getting married in 5 minutes.
Come on, how long could it take?
The one you love is back. Wendy's delicious bacon mushroom melt. It's better here.
See why we had to have one?
I do.
And our pickup window's open till 1 a.m. or later.
I'm Channel 2 meteorologist Mike Anderson. Get your early warning forecast on the radio. Tune in to 92.9 KBEZ and 106.9 K-Hits for an accurate local forecast.
Channel 2 really does work for you. It's wonderful what you all do. Call Channel 2, they'll help you out.
Thank God for people like Channel 2 News.
And it's amazing the responses that you guys get that us normal, everyday people cannot get.
Thank you.
Thank you very kindly.
You're watching Channel 2 News with Russ McCaskey, Karen Larson, and Chief Meteorologist Dan Twelkow. This is Channel 2 News at 5.
The governor who announced he's gay and resigned is back at work.
That story tops our 2 View on America tonight. New Jersey Governor James McGreevey was back at the State House today, less than 1 week after he announced his resignation. He laid out an agenda for the next 90 days before his resignation is effective. He wants the state Senate president to take over for him. McGreevey stepped down after announcing he'd had an extramarital affair with another man.
A police chase in Ohio takes an unusual turn. The pursuit was caught on police dashboard camera. Authorities say that the man driving a stolen truck took a sharp turn onto a golf course, even got away for a while, but police eventually showed up at his house where they arrested the driver.
And in Tennessee, Elvis fans want to keep his memory alive. Elvis Presley died 27 years ago today. Hundreds of fans held this candlelight vigil at his gravesite last night. The vigil ended a week of activities, including impersonators, parties, and fan club meetings.
It's hard to believe it's been 27 years.
Yeah, it really is. Well, most of us associate eating disorders with teenagers, but really an alarming number of adult women are struggling with the illness. We'll talk to a woman who's battled with her weight for decades. Still ahead.
And Michael Jackson fans line up for a chance to see the star on his way into court. We'll have the latest from the hearing.
Okay, TJ.
What?
You doing that drink thing again?
I'm sorry, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
slush variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Cool down with hundreds of slush flavors. Or try Sonic's intense new Powerade slush. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Want more adventure this summer? Get more and get going to the Jeep Summer Sales Drive, where you'll have to hurry if you're going to get the Jeep vehicle you want and grab $1,000 in bonus cash for a combined cash allowance of up to $4,500 on select Jeep Grand Cherokees, Liberties, and Wranglers. But you've got to get it in gear because these offers end August 31st. Nothing's more fun than summer in a Jeep vehicle. Want more? Get going. See your Jeep dealer today because summer's almost gone, and so is the Summer Sales Drive.
Is it time to replace an old appliance? Are you building or remodeling? You won't believe our choices. Lumberyards don't have these innovations. Drive up to our front door and let a full-time factory-trained expert show you the smart new features designed to make your life easier. Hahn Appliance has Oklahoma's largest display of working appliances at everyday low prices. You won't see the GE Harmony washer and dryer hooked up live anyplace else. They actually talk to each other. Only at Hahn Appliance Center, where you can turn on life.
Interest rates are low. Start saving today with a loan from Tulsa Federal Employees Credit Union. Visit any of our 8 convenient locations in the Tulsa metro area.
For the youngster in your home, Snow's Furniture has the right stuff at the right price. This captain's bed with storage drawer is only $197, or the twin bed for only $247. And this bunk bed includes mattress and sleeps 3, only $297. Shop Snow's Furniture now. Pay nothing down, pay no interest, and make no payments for 12 months.
We're right on the corner and right on the price. Snow's Furniture. Snow's Furniture.
South Sheridan at night.
An Olympic athlete is arrested and charged in a death. Police in Athens arrested Danish Olympic sailor Nicholas Holmes on charges that he killed a pedestrian while speeding in his car. Holm was on his way to watch Denmark's handball team compete last night when the accident occurred. Holm was released after he was charged with manslaughter and speeding. The Olympic Committee says he will still be allowed to compete.
For the first time in months, pop singer Michael Jackson was in court today. His attorneys want to toss out evidence in his child molestation trial. The Santa Barbara County District Attorney who filed charges against Jackson took the stand. He testified about a search warrant served on a private investigator prosecutors believe was working for Jackson. Key video and audio tapes were seized in that search.
If the evidence from Bradley Miller's office is inadmissible, then that will have a tremendous impact on the conspiracy portion of the case.
Jackson was greeted by a throng of well-wishers at the court.
Another setback for the prosecution at the Kobe Bryant case. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled that information about the alleged victim's sexual history can be used at the trial. It's a victory for Bryant and his defense team, who will use it to discredit the accuser. Despite the blow, the prosecution did not mention any intentions to dismiss the charges. The trial is scheduled to begin on August the 27th. Oprah Winfrey was in court today as well. The famed talk show host was called to serve jury duty in her home city of Chicago. Court officials say that Winfrey entered the court through a back door to minimize commotion and security concerns. She may be paid millions for a talk show, but today, just like every other juror, she'll be paid $17.20 for service.
Time for a check of our weather, and still just so mild outside.
Very mild, and welcome back.
Thank you.
You were gone
and you had an interesting vacation,
Well,
didn't
it
you?
really did. Between a tropical storm and a hurricane, it was just, life was not dull.
Let us know next time you leave. We want to follow the weather where that location is.
I'll bring a camera with me.
All right, taking a time lapse of what's going on across the area. We will show you since about 2 o'clock this afternoon. As we put it into motion from the tower cam, you can see the clouds. At times, they got a little thick across the area. In fact, we did see a couple of clouds here and there across the area, but they didn't really amount to very much. We did have some sprinkles just to the north of us, and the clouds here got thick around lunchtime. Then they started to thin out, and now a lot of sunshine out there. Look at what's going on right now. An old double Doppler 2 will show you that across the area right now, things are fairly quiet with the exception of a little bit in the way of rain up to our north. Once you get up to across parts of Osage County, a couple of isolated showers. They have weakened in the last hour or so. They're north of the Pawhuska area, and they're slowly drifting still to the south and southeast. Could some of this hold together and provide us with some light rain? Yes, it's possible as they make their way down towards the Barnsdall area. So very slight chance for a couple of sprinkles, but they will be very, very isolated Most areas staying dry right now. Our temperatures are in the 80s right now across the region. From the Channel 2 studios at 90 degrees right now with a southerly wind. For tomorrow, once again, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s across the area. Once again, we're looking at light southerly winds across the region. At the airport, it's 3 degrees cooler right now at 87 degrees. You can see that on the clouds in the satellite. Bartlesville at 85 degrees thanks to some cloud cover, a couple of degrees cooler there. And beautiful Muskogee at 85 degrees. So if you have evening plans, just keep in mind there could be 1 or 2 isolated sprinkles, but for the most part, we're looking at a fairly quiet night. There's the clouds and the sprinkles that Mike Anderson showed you this morning down across the areas just south of the Tulsa area. Those have moved to the south and weakened. For us for tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures a couple of degrees warmer in some cases, but most of the rain will be up to our north and also out to our west. Here's a look at the futurecast. Now, it's showing a lot more in the way of rain by 10 o'clock tonight, but this is overdone. This rain by 10 o'clock for tonight will be 1 or 2 little isolated showers. Most areas staying dry. Let's put it into motion overnight. Watch how things kind of fall apart. We'll wake up with a temperature of 68 degrees. Now, notice the front up to our north. That front is going to make a run at us, but it's not going to move in. Low pressure out to the west starts to move in, and that lifts back to the north. So 91, the expected temperature for tomorrow. As we get into Wednesday, we start off with a temperature of 70 degrees, and by the afternoon, about 92. Notice rain to our north, to our south, and out to our west, but we are going to stay dry. But our next chance of rain will come in late Thursday as another front to the north begins to move into this warm and moist air. So tomorrow morning when we wake up, over in Muskogee at 66 degrees, Bristow at 67. We're looking at temperatures for the afternoon. Again, a couple of degrees warmer than where we have been. That'll make Pryor seem pretty warm at 90 degrees. Over towards Grove, temperature of 88. So for us, very slight chance for 1 or 2 isolated sprinkles. In the morning, 68 degrees and a temperature of 91. The skies will be partly cloudy. There's your chance of rain. It's mainly for late Thursday at 30%. I put our best chance of rain on Friday, cloudy with a 40% chance of rain. Temperature knocked down into the middle 80s. And then by Saturday and Sunday, only a slight chance of rain for Saturday morning. So Russ, some rain coming, it looks like, towards the end of the week, but still mild temperatures for the middle of August. It's amazing.
We'll take those 90s, although that's going to start to feel a little warm.
Low 90s. Low 90s will feel warm compared to where we've been.
Hard to believe. All right, Dan, thanks. Let's check in with Karen now.
All right. Thanks, guys. Well, in tonight's 2 Works For You Healthcast, controlling your allergies could one day be as simple as rubbing on a cream. A new study finds an ointment that's applied to the inside of the nose actually reduces hay fever symptoms by as much as 60%. The cream works by blocking allergens such as pollen, dust, and pet dander. Patients that received the placebo reported just a 25% drop in symptoms. Now, when we usually think of eating disorders, we picture teenage or maybe college-age girls. But more and more adult women are facing the same problem. And experts say the #1 trigger is stress. Kathy Duncan eats right, exercises moderately, and lives a healthy lifestyle. But that wasn't always the case. She is just one of a growing number of adult women who are faced with an eating disorder.
We're seeing women in their 30s and 40s who have problems with eating disorders.
Linda Goebel with Brookhaven Hospital says many women have dealt with the disorder at a younger age and are now experiencing a much stronger relapse.
Trauma in their later adult life or a heavy stressor, a severe stressor might trigger that, and it causes them to use an old coping skill, which might be their eating disorder.
And that's exactly what happened to Kathy.
The last episode is when my father died, and he died almost 4 years ago, this coming March. And probably about 5 or 6 months later, I checked myself into a hospital.
Kathy says it started with just eating lighter and spiraled downward until she weighed barely more than 60 pounds.
I had just quit eating almost. I was down to half a bagel a day.
Goebel says anorexia and other eating disorders can not only get worse as people age, but can also become harder to detect.
People feel like they give themselves that message that they should be maturing out of it, but a lot of times it becomes just more hidden, more secretive.
But Kathy's proof that there is hope.
I mean, it's a day-to-day battle. And you can either make it tough or you can make it work for you. And lately I've chosen to make...
Well, Goebel also says that the intense pressure to diet or stay thin is another main trigger of eating disorders in men and women.
I certainly wish her well.
We certainly do. Well, it is not exactly Olympic competition, but 20 people are actually battling it out to be the nation's top couch potatoes.
We'll take you to their Olympic arena, still ahead. Area lakes, fun, relaxing, sometimes dangerous, too often deadly.
Tam said, Daddy said I'm tired. I need to swim under the water.
Tonight after the Olympics, it's a Works For You investigation. We've done the research, pulled the numbers, and have the list of the area's most dangerous and deadly lakes. Before you plan your Labor Day weekend, find out how your favorite spot ranks. It's tonight after the Olympics in segment 2. One more way, Channel 2 works for you.
Factory Direct at 71st and Memorial is closing its doors forever. The building's been sold. It's a wall-to-wall liquidation. Hurry for best selection. 7-piece room groups, bedroom groups, sectionals with incliners, chairs, tables, dining room groups, lamps, mirrors, pictures, greenery, trees, all home accessories, futon, king, queen, full, twin. All bedding is blowout liquidation price. Bring your truck or trailer. Bring your family and friends. It's first come, first served. Hurry. Time is running out. Hurry. The Factory Direct wall-to-wall liquidation. 71st and Memorial.
Hey guys, here I am in Hollywood outside of Grown Man's Chinese Theater. This is where some of the biggest stars have their handprints saved in concrete. It's fun. Is that a Hooters?
New show, Sing Joey, Thursdays this fall on NBC.
Hey, I'm here in California, my new home, at one of LA's famous nude beaches. Huh? Hey, can I help you make a sandcastle? Huh?
Joey, coming to NBC this fall.
The last of the 04s are here. It's Chevy's model year-end event. You'll find amazing year-end offers on the best-selling half-ton regular and extended cab pickups on the road. The 2004 Silverado. Get 0% APR financing or a total value of $5,000 on select Silverado models when you finance through your dealer in GMAC. For the #1 selling cars and trucks, see your Tulsa area Chevy dealer.
He wants Michael Jackson behind bars. Now he has to go face-to-face with the king of pop. We have the courtroom showdown. Plus Reese Witherspoon's extra close-up. The one thing you will never see her do on film. Next extra.
Tonight at 6:30 on Channel 2.
As the summer heat sizzles, escape into the Parisian world of the Moulin Rouge at the Mayo. I'm Channel 2's Russ McCaskey.
And I'm Deb McCaskey. Join us in the American Cancer Society for a night of bohemian mystery and romance.
On August 28th, we'll dance the night away with Earl Clark and Spectrum while street musicians, mimes, and jugglers stroll by. All for a great cause.
Moulin Rouge at the Mayo. Just one more way. Channel 2 works for you.
Looking very dapper there, Russ. Well, the nation's top couch potatoes are competing for recognition in the Guinness Book of World Records.
That they are. 22 people are trying to set a record for watching the Olympics. They started last night in Florida, and they will sit and watch endless hours of Olympic coverage. The one who stays the longest will win a trip to the 2006 Winter Olympics in Italy.
Now there's an incentive. Well, there is more news to come on Channel 2 News at 6. Pete Thompson will have more on the suspicious police-involved death in Sapulpa, including an exclusive interview with the victim's girlfriend. New at 6, we'll find out what some North Tulsa residents are doing to take back their neighborhood. And in consumer news, prices at the pump fall while do not call list complaints are on the rise. And here's what's coming up tonight on Channel 2 at 7. It's the Athens 2004 Olympics. The men started off in gymnastics, followed by men's freestyle swimming. Then the women hit the water for the backstroke competition, diving board. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great night.
We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. Have a good night, everyone.